So you have built and grown into what you felt like you always wanted, but it doesn't feel the way that you thought that it would. And there are a few reasons that can be the case. I'm going to talk to you about a couple of them today because the reality is burnout can look like a lot of different things. And sometimes it's not burnout at all. If you don't know me, my name's Penny. I'm a board certified hypnotist. I spent 25 years in healthcare, and I left healthcare for the very first one of these reasons that we can get burned out that I'm going to talk to you. And this really isn't burnout, it's mental exhaustion, it's moral injury. What am I talking about? I'm talking about a misalignment of values. We can build and grow something, create something beautiful, and over time, what's important to us shifts and changes. We change, or the environment in which we created what we created has shifted and changed in a way that it's no longer aligned or resonant with what is important to us. This happened with me in healthcare. I went into healthcare back in the day where there were HMOs. The insurance wasn't the way it is now, and nurses still had time to sit down and talk to their patients and teach their patients. By the time 2011, 2012 rolled around, it was a very different beast in healthcare, very different. And I'm just not going to get into all of it. There are episodes about my journey that you can go through the channel here and you can look at some of those. But that misalignment of values, it was exhausting because I had to mentally manage myself and constantly reframe who I was, how I was serving others. And quite honestly, I was justifying myself staying in that place because I had invested years of my career in training and thousands of dollars to be in that position. But it was becoming clear to me that something just wasn't fitting anymore. And in 2019, I walked away completely after 15 years as a nurse anesthetist. So that's really a first place to look. What are your values? And not necessarily your obvious values, because you can go, oh no, my value is service and my business is built around service. I'm talking about subconscious values. I mean, and that can be one of your subconscious values, but if you have subconscious values that are misaligned, then it becomes mentally and emotionally exhausting to show up every day to do what you're doing. Now, there's also burnout from just physically going and not stopping. And there's a danger with this because a lot of times people will tell themselves the story that when you're being of service, it's hard work. When you're being of service, it's normal, like you're giving of yourself. Being of service is not giving of yourself. Being of service is giving of your gifts. And we can carry a story that we picked up from mentors, from parents, from the church or other religious organization that we're part of. We can pick up a story that a good person, people who are truly giving, they sacrifice something to give. And that's never the way it was meant to be. Because when you are fully whole and you were taken care of financially, physically, mentally, and emotionally, you have even more to give. The quality of what you're giving is greater. So I have seen that happen with client in the past where the story really stuck from a business mentor that when you're working to be of service, you don't rest. You keep going no matter what happens. And that was that person taking their value and transferring it to my client. And it really stuck because My client received that in a moment where they were looking up to this person and they wanted nothing more than to do everything that they could to create the impact that they want. Here's a third way that burnout can show up. We can believe that we're being of service, but what we're doing is we're caught in a subconscious cycle of overcommitting, of overgiving, and of seeking external validation for acceptance. We feel this urgency, and that's the key. We feel this urgency to do more. We have to do all the things. I can't stop. People need me, and all of the things. When you have that urgency underneath the surface, that is subconscious. Yes, you can still be someone who wants to be of service, and you can be an overcommitter, overgetter, overgiver, and be seeking external validation. All of those things can be true at the same time. If you stick with this channel long enough and you watch these videos, I've had people tell me, Penny, you're confusing. You're not black and white. And so people really aren't sure what you're helping them solve. What I'm helping you solve is to get clarity, because nothing is black or white. There is context to everything. And all of those things could be true for you, or maybe none of those things are true for you. What happens in the subconscious mind stays in the subconscious mind when it's tied to these protective mechanisms around validation. And that's where the overcommitting and the overgiving comes from, and that constant seeking of acceptance. If you watch a previous video, I gave an example of Patrick Swayze, and I believe the name of the video was Who's in the Room with You? Go back and watch that video, because he was carrying a belief that he needed to atone for something. And he even said it in an interview. And I remember when I watched the video of that interview, it was several years ago, I was positively floored that such a powerful actor and someone who was so open-hearted and kind-hearted could carry this belief that they need to atone for something. And when I went and I did the research for that YouTube episode, I'm like, I want to know what he felt like he needed to atone for. You're going to have to go watch the video, because when I found what the rest of the conversation was that I missed, I was like, of course, that's what it was. The subconscious mind is illogical. So if you're burnt out, if you're exhausted, if you are ready to just burn your whole business down, throw your career to the wind, or whatever the case may be, these are the three things that you've got to look at. Is it a values mismatch? Am I overcommitting and overgiving? And am I seeking external validation when I need none of that? Is that what's taking something that felt so light and wonderful and something I was so passionate about and now has made it so heavy on top of me? Or did I pick up somebody else's sticky belief that this is what it looks like to be of service? Because it doesn't have to be that way. You were never meant to suffer to do the good that you're here to do in the world. If you want to explore what this work looks like, there's a link in the bio or the description below for a consult with Tina. She's a hypnotist who works alongside me. She'll be happy to have a chat with you. Be sure to subscribe to the channel, like this video, and drop a comment around what stood out the most.